¿Cuándo? ¿Dónde? ¿Quién? Pero yo quiero saber por qué. Motivos de un asesino.
En Cosmopolitan.
This really is about normal people who find themselves in extraordinary circumstances. And one day they make that left turn instead of making the right turn, and that results in murder.
Conceptually, this show is so dynamic, is so unique. You know, we've really turned the procedural on its head by identifying who the killer is and who the victim is. In the teaser, up front, it's not a whodunit, it becomes a whydunit.
That really required that we throw out the game book.
It challenges the audience members' preconceived notions of what a killer is and what a victim is.
Average people who have been pushed to the brink and have killed.
We really feel like at this point, you know, nothing's on the air like this, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, since we're dealing with murder, we're always conscious of the tone, and it is a relatively serious tone because murder is a serious topic. However, we never veer into the blood and gore aspect of the crime. It always goes back to the humanity that was involved in committing the crime, that one person that was driven to the edge. How does it affect them, and how do they continue on?
I always wonder why. Why did that happen? You know, we know how it happened. It's all reported, but what was going through this killer's mind that got them to this point where they could take another human being's life?
And because we have so many different killers that we're showcasing in this season, each killer will be affected differently. Some will be remorseful, some will freak out.
No, he is the only person with any reason to kill her.
Some will be actually freed up.
I think this format will engage the audience in a unique and compelling way. The investigations will take us along lines where we may come up against red herrings, and there needs to be revelation that will inform our story of why.
I've never been to an autopsy before.
Always happy to be somebody's first.
Just when you think, oh God, now I know why it happened, boom, we take a left-hand turn. It's continually challenging and kind of delightful in the way that it reveals character.
I want the audience to fall in love with our characters in the same way that we have, and I think that's a huge part due to our cast as well as our writers.
It's a rich tapestry of dynamic characters, starting from our lead cast.
What interested me about the project was the writing, actually. The writing was so fantastic.
I wouldn't touch that. The dog inhibiting access to the body won't budge, not even for the wife, so...
Hey, guys, we got a murder scene going cold and a killer running loose.
It's a big dog, Inch.
That's right. I got away with animals.
I thought you had away with men.
Well, the same principles apply. You just gotta take control. The writing wasn't predictable and full of really interesting character choices with this cast of characters who are constantly dealing with murder. It's a really fine line as to how do you infuse that kind of line of work with personality.
Case number 12, AB 5465. Tiffany Greenwood. Initial examination, Dr. Betty Rogers, Detective Angie Flynn is present.
Hi. Don't do that. The scripts had that in spades, which I thought was great, and I really felt my sensibilities just naturally came out with the writing.
I think because we were both so drawn to the initial idea of the character-driven show, we've collaborated. I'm always interested in seeing the characters and the people and their stories, and so I think we both have wanted that to remain through these first 13.
In terms of the key cast, it was an incredibly long journey, actually. But I think that what seems obvious in hindsight is never obvious when you're first starting out, and I think Kristin was somebody who struck us from the very beginning.
You are grasping at straws, Detective.
I gotta hand it to you, David. It was almost perfect, but you never should have taken the bag.
She just has such a spectacular skill set as an actor, and she's so stunning, the camera loves her, that we knew that there was a real opportunity here.
She just embodied what was on the page and in all our minds. With Louis, it was very much the same way. And it's been like that on this process. We instinctively felt that they were right for the parts. And as you often do, you sell yourself short on your gut instincts sometimes. And so we saw a lot of people for these roles. However, it came back to, we were right the first time.
And I think, too, just with the chemistry that they had, you know, on camera, Oscar is a character to me that's solid and he's quite sure of himself. You know, he has his own journey, you know, as a character, whereas Angie is a little bit more kind of off the cuff. Behind the scenes, they're slightly the opposite. I think their chemistry works really well and complements each other just as actors on set. You know, Louis is sort of the bigger, bubblier one, whereas Kristin keeps things running smoothly amongst the whole group. And the two of them together, both on screen and off screen, have an amazing chemistry. So we lucked out on that.
No contusions on the neck. No apparent defensive wounds to the hands. Victim might not have seen his attacker coming in the dark.
The character of Dr. Betty Rogers was an interesting one to me, and one where I thought we could have a little bit of fun with.
Dr. Betty Rogers, or Bets, as some of the characters call her, is an extremely capable coroner, but she definitely has a penchant for being flirtatious. Hello, medical examiner. They told me you have a body, and I see that they were right. I think she enjoys having so many men in uniform around.
We're so blessed to be able to have Lauren Holly on the show because she's obviously an incredibly skilled actor and performer, but she does have such a deft touch to her skills, and what she's brought to this character is a very unique portrayal of a really dynamic character. She folds in so well to the entire ensemble.
With Motive, our guest stars are quite a big part of the show, and they're really interesting roles of killer and victim for some really great characters and great actors to come in and play them.
It's really a tremendous opportunity for guest stars to flex their muscles.
In our first episode with Joey McIntyre, of course, from New Kids on the Block.
It's cool. I mean, there's certainly a lot of investigative police work TV shows out there, but this is definitely a format that's pretty cool. They write it in a way that there could be lots of different whys, but they got to get to the real reason, and that's fun. I think it's something fresh and new, and look forward to seeing how it comes out.
I think that's exciting for actors to know that that's there, and it's attracting an incredible level of talent.
I hope people watch, because that's what determines everything, right? If people watch, then we keep making them.
How many more cars on that list?
5.
We can only hope that in this first season there's enough there to give us a second to then be able to build on maybe the characters, you know, to grow with the characters.
But I think also I want that sense of anticipation when you tune into Motive and the show starts and you see the killer and the victim, and I want people to just start going, okay, let's see if we can figure this out. Let's see if we can get ahead of the game and provide that level of satisfaction and pleasure that comes from great storytelling.